Good afternoon, chat. Coming to you live from employment hell. My 3 jobs during the holiday season thing is killing me slowly, but I only have to do it a little bit longer. So kind of just checking in to say, hey, I'm still here. I received word last night from my sources that a new Stargaze trailer just dropped. So I thought I'd just pop in and say, hey, I'm still alive. Here's more thoughts on more trailer. I already gave my thoughts on the first teaser trailer and like a whole frame by frame breakdown and all that. So we'll see in this one how much of my words I end up having to just. I have a feeling a lot of my predictions are way too hopeful and are way off the mark, and I'm gunning for like way more Trimax than they're actually willing to commit to in this story. So since I haven't watched this yet, I'll just watch it, and live slug reaction, and then maybe go back through and do like a frame by frame thing before I even press play on the trailer. The thumbnail is Vash, Eric's, Wolfwood, and Meryl. They all look very happy, and you can see in the frame it looks like they're on camera. It looks like they're being recorded. So I'm willing to bet that Millie is behind the camera. Okay, that being said, let's just see what they have in store for us. Okay, so they're showing knives.
ミリオンズナイブスの目的は人間に搾取され続けてきたプラントを救い、プラントの楽園を作ること。私はなるべく正しい道筋を進みたい。ミリオンズナイブスも同じさ。お前のおかげで足踏みの末、さらに多くの同胞が絞るだけ絞り取られて食い潰された。
Was that black in Knives' hair? Or just a shadow? Mid-Valley. Okay, I was right. There is black in his hair. The motorcycle? I mean, it's January 10th. Okay, we have a date. All right, let's do this thing frame by frame. So it looks like no redesign for Knives Reborn aside from a little bit of black in his hair. Meryl in that little getup with her like desert Fremen getup, that looks a lot like what she and Millie were wearing in volume. Oh, my poster just fell down. Maybe volume 8? Post Arc Apocalypse. Her and Millie are going around doing like reconnaissance basically. And they're wearing these very like desert survival-y looking things. So that is a nod to that. We've got a camera. That looks like Millie. Okay, Meryl and Zazie hanging out again. The shorties love to hang out. I wonder, because Zazie is the one who shows up at the very end of the very last episode of Stampede and kind of gives Meryl a little bit of a warning, like something's coming, the two angels, you know? So I like what little hints I'm getting of some kind of friendship or some kind of dynamic happening there where they seem to trust each other to some level, or at least are like having conversations that are very informative and very civil. Zazie is one of the least antagonistic of all of the Gung Ho Guns, so that doesn't surprise me. And Zazie and Meryl do have like a few scenes together in the manga, mostly the Dragon's Nest, volume 4, volume 5. As far as I recall, like they are very cordial to each other. So I hope that they play with that a little bit and give it a little bit of expansion. Okay, the shot of Legato with his glowing eyes, you know I love it. Knives, always with his dogs out. Okay. That is black in his hair. It's very much darker than the shadows. Exciting. Okay, Legato and Alindra, Wolfwood. So it looks like they're combining the Eric's scenes with the Ship 3 Puppet Master scenes. Because Eric's gets an action scene when Wolfwood finds him, they go and rescue Lena from her kidnappers. And that's kind of like the action scene where we see like Vash is back in business. But it looks like they're maybe ditching the Lena rescue scene in exchange for the Puppet Master confrontation on ship 3. Maybe they're not ditching it, but they're just like combining those arcs together. I can see how that would work. I can see why you'd want to compress that for time. Loving what's happening with Hopper here. I do think that he is one of the most fascinating characters in Trigun, and I fear that he is very overlooked in a lot of the fandom spaces that I see. I think because he's a difficult character. He makes people uncomfortable. But his scenes with Vash are so good. So good. And that tagline from that first poster, "Live and Suffer," that's taken from what Hopper said to Vash as he died. And Vash's role in Hopper's suffering, I think is difficult. I think his suffering and his disability can make people uncomfortable. But I do think there's something very beautiful about Hopper's rage and getting to confront Vash with that, even if he doesn't necessarily get what he wanted out of that interaction. So I'm really happy to see him here and to get his moment. Okay, Mid Valley with a speaking line. So fun. This opening theme is very poppy. I don't know that I love it, but it could grow on me. Wolfwood saying, "Who the hell are you?" And then that shot of that eye. That's Raslo. Yes, that is Livio's faceplate. And of course, Wolfwood knows his brother, so if he's looking at his brother and saying, "Who the hell are you?" that's because it's Raslo. Legato, my blue hair and pronouns boy. I always make this joke that Legato in Trigun Stampede is blue hair and pronouns, but Legato in Trigun Maximum is blue hair and verbs. Because he takes action. He's someone that, like, things happen because of him. So I'm really hoping that blue hair and pronouns turns into blue hair and verbs. Oh, why was that kind of hot? Because that is an insane shot. I'm like, I got a little bit of chills. Not gonna lie. This is beautiful. This is gorgeous. Against the all white, like the blank all white background. Guys, I was thinking about Trigun the other day at work. Because I'm so busy with work, I don't have a lot of time to just sit and think, which is like my favorite thing to do. I was at work thinking about Trigun, and I started like sweating and feeling sick to my stomach because I was thinking about how good Trigun is. Guys, I don't play around. I don't play around when it comes to this. Like I said before, though, I'm always saying this. I know a dead horse hates to see me coming, but like I said, you really run the risk of when you compress this and try to put so much into the show without giving it enough time and enough of the character moments that it really needs. I really worry that things aren't going to have the proper weight that they need because a scene of Vash about to shoot Legato, if you only watch this show, like it just looks like another action scene. I think if you don't have the context, like I think you need to go all the way back to Trigun Maximum Volume 1 and that hostage situation in the first volume of Trimax and slowly progress through the story and look at Legato's behavior when he had Vash imprisoned and looking at the way that Vash feels about humans and suffering, and like there's so much context that goes into this scene of Vash pointing his gun at Legato and Legato begging to be shot. If you don't have all of that, it doesn't hit. You don't know what this means to Vash. If you don't know what this means to Legato, um that's what I'm worried about, because when I saw a scene like this in the manga I was horrified. But if I'm just a viewer of this show, I don't have enough context for something like this to horrify me. Moving on. Are Legato's eyes blue? Okay, they're blue and they glow yellow. Interesting. Oh, okay. This shot looks like the girls dropping in when Wolfwood was fighting Grey the Nine Lives. That's a direct reference to that panel. More shots of the girls. Vash. Shirtless. Hey, baby girl, you look like a chew toy. If I don't see him fully naked in this season, I'm rioting. Knives too, while we're at it. And I don't say that from a voyeuristic perspective. Knives loves to be naked. Let him be naked. Okay, taking a cute little picture. So I was absolutely correct that it is Millie behind the camera. More action, more Mid Valley, more Hopper, more puppets. I'll be really happy if they just directly transplant Hopper's bits from the manga straight into this show. I think that will be really powerful. Now, is that Mid Valley saying, is there anywhere left to run in this world? He wants to quit his job so bad. Me too, girl. Okay, it looks like missiles launching out from the top of July Tower UFO thing. Leonov saying, Knives made me a king. Did he ever talk about knives in the manga? I'll have to get back to you on that one. I can't remember if he ever said much to Vash about knives giving him the power and the resources to do his stuff. Jessica giving Vash a hug. It'd be better if I didn't exist. Girl. Everyone just saying Vash, Wolfwood on the motorcycle. All right. I actually don't see too much to contradict some of the things that I was saying in my previous trailer breakdown. I'm still holding out hope for a split curse season. Like a Stargaze Part 2 will air next year or something like that. Because this looks great. I mean, aside from my complaints with Elendra that I think will always exist, this looks awesome. I'm really excited. But it doesn't feel final, and they're billing this as a final installment or a final season, but this very much does not feel final. But that's just me. Maybe I am just a little bit too hopeful and delusional. But hey, someone's got to do it. Thanks for joining me for this quick one before the eternal worm devours me. See you guys around. January 10th, I'll be sat, I'll be here, I'll be filming. You will be hearing from me again whether you want to or not. In the meantime, stay healthy, have a happy holidays. Also, last month I wrote a piece of fan fiction for the first time in many, 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 many years based on one throwaway thing that Naito once said about Legato having a younger sister, and I decided to run with that and talk about Vash and Livio post-canon having a really hard time processing through a lot of the things that happened to them. So if that interests you, if you want to read about grief and brothers and how difficult it really is to move on, I will leave a link to that in the description. I'm a pretty good writer if I do say so myself. Who said that?